Baby. Shan Eugene-ji's voice was so low it seemed to vibrate from the depths of his chest. Tinged with a repressed hoarseness, a bead of sweat slowly slid down the tense line of his jaw, tracing a glistening trail in the air before landing with a soft plop on Sumili's delicate collarbone. The temperature was startlingly hot, like a spark landing on snow, instantly provoking a shiver. Eat good, it won't hurt too much. Sumili's breath hitched, her voice trembling and broken, carrying a hint of choked back sobs. Her fingers clutched the bed sheets beneath her. Knuckles white, little uncle. Please, don't. Shan Eugene-ji's quiet command was firm, but his movements did not cease. He leaned down. In the dim light, his usually cool, ascetic profile appeared even more sharply defined. The palm clasping her waist tightened abruptly, his fingertips stroking the sensitive skin on her side. His voice a dark, husky murmur. Scared now. Where did all that fearless courage go earlier? In the marriage registry office, when you grabbed my collar and forced me to get a marriage certificate with you. Sumili's face was flushed crimson, the corners of her eyes glistening with dampness, like a little rabbit that had been bullied to the extreme. She bit her lower lip, her dark hair tangled and falling over her white shoulders and neck, setting off her skin like fine jade. But her slender collarbone and the curves of her figure couldn't hide the innate, seductive charm she exuded. Unrippy yet alluring, like a nearly ripe peach on a branch, tempting one to take a bite and taste its sweet juice. Shan Eugene-ji's Adam's apple moved almost imperceptibly, the dark fire in his eyes burning brighter. His thoughts drifted back to an hour earlier. The Shen family mansion was ablaze with light, the engagement party for his elder brother, Shen Qingyan, in full swing. The crystal chandelier refracted dazzling light. Guests raised their glasses in congratulations, faces wearing enthusiastic yet hollow smiles. Sumili sat in a corner, holding half a glass of red wine, her gaze vacant as she watched the perfect couple on the stage. Shen Qingyan was her only family in this world. They had relied on each other since childhood. He was not just her brother but her emotional anchor. Yet today, he was going to share that love with another woman. Watching the radiant, blissful smile on her brother's face, Sumili's heart felt both happy for him and achingly sour. It felt as if the softest part of her heart had been ruthlessly carved out, leaving behind an empty, echoing void. Feeling sad? A low, cool voice suddenly sounded above her, carrying a trace of barely perceptible mockery. Sumili raised her head dazedly. Meeting a pair of bottomless eyes, Han Eugene-ji stood behind her, dressed in a perfectly tailored, handmade black suit that accentuated his tall, upright posture. He held a glass of whiskey but hadn't drunk from it, simply looking down at her with that inscrutable obscure gaze. Sad? Sumili shook her head slightly, the alcohol fogging her brain into a jumbled mess. She pouted, the rims of her eyes reddening. Who's sad? I just feel like the love is being shared with someone else. Marriage. What does it really feel like? A sudden curiosity, even a tinge of jealousy towards the person on the stage, arose in her. As if possessed, a surge of inexplicable courage flooded her mind. She abruptly stood up, rose on her toes, and grabbed the collar of the man before her. The silk fabric crumpled in her grip. She glared at him fiercely, her nose filled with his crisp, clean scent of cedarwood. Shen Eugene-ji, do you dare to marry me? The air seemed to freeze. A flicker of shock passed through Shen Eugene-ji's pupils, as if he couldn't believe the girl who usually avoided him would utter such an absurd statement. What did you say? His voice was lower than usual, his Adam's apple bobbing with a barely noticeable tremor. Said, Sumili, emboldened by the alcohol, was astonishingly brave. She leaned closer, her breath warm against his skin. Do you dare to get a marriage certificate with me? Right now? Just as she expected him to push her away or scold her like an elder, Shen Eugene-ji's jaw muscle tightened almost imperceptibly. The next moment he actually clasped her wrist in return, his grip startlingly strong. Let's go. The red marriage certificate now lay quietly on the nightstand. Sue Millie held the still-warm certificate, her fingertips trembling slightly. A sense of absurdity swept over her along with the lingering effects of the alcohol, making her wish she could crawl into a hole. Had she really gotten married to Shen Yujingji? This was the legendary head of the Shen family, known for his ruthless methods, decisive actions, and complete indifference to women. This man with perfect bone structure, cool and aloof, whose every move exuded the dignified aura of one in power, was now her lawful husband. What? Regretting it already? Shen Yujingji's voice came from above her, carrying a dangerous edge of pressure. He leaned over, bracing his hands on either side of her, trapping her within his domain. Those usually indifferent phoenix eyes were now fixed intently on her, as if appraising a long-lost treasure. Sue Millie's heart fluttered under his gaze. She instinctively tried to shrink back, but his knee pressed against the back of her leg, immobilizing her. Who's regretting it? She tilted her head up. The corners of her eyes flushed a peach-blossom pink from the alcohol, like a bristling cat terrified yet putting on a show of defiance. Seeing her like this, a hint of imperceptible amusement flickered in Shen Yujingji's eyes. Good. He lowered his head, his thin lips almost brushing her lobby, his warm breath, and over her sensitive ear, sending a shiver of tingling numbness through her. Let me remind you. With me, there's no divorce, only widowhood. Sue Millie's pupils dilated sharply. Her heart felt as if it had been struck a heavy blow. Before she could fully grasp the weight of his words, Shen Yujingji had launched a new offensive. Since we have the certificate, it's time to fulfill your wifely duties. He clasped her waist, his voice husky and low. Brooking no argument now, lift your legs. Shen Yujingji, you. Tell me what? He raised an eyebrow, his finger tracing a light, punishing circle on her waist. Sue Millie gritted her teeth, tears welling in her eyes. Oh, little uncle. Good. A satisfied curve touched Shen Yujingji's lips as he captured her trembling, red mouth in a kiss. From now on in bed, that's the only thing you're allowed to call me. The night was deep. The moonlight outside the window stretched into slender beams. For Sue Millie, this night was destined to be a long, inescapable nightmare. But for Shen Yujingji, it was the triumphant culmination of a hunt he had lain in wait for over many years. He had waited too long for this day, so long that he had almost begun to believe he would wither away in this forbidden love. Until tonight, watching her only at Shen Qingyan's engagement party, seeing the panic in her eyes at the thought of losing her anchor, he knew he could wait no longer. Even if she was drunk, even if she was impulsive, as long as she signed her name and stamped the seal, she would be his for the rest of her life. The next morning, sunlight filtered through the gap in the curtains. When Sue Millie woke, the space beside her was already empty. Her body ached, as if it had been run over by a truck. She didn't even have the strength to move a finger. She opened her eyes with effort. The crisp scent of cedarwood still lingered around her. On the nightstand, the red marriage certificate was still there. She reached for it, but her hand brushed against an neatly folded piece of paper. It was a note left by Shen Yujingji. The handwriting was powerful and forceful, exuding an undeniable authority. Come downstairs to eat when you're awake. The housekeeper has prepared a medicinal bath for you. At 2 p.m., come with me to the old mansion. The old mansion? Sue Millie's heart gave a nervous thud. Go to the old mansion to meet the family? If news of her and Shen Yujingji got out, wouldn't the elders be furious? After all, naturally, he was her uncle. As she was lost in thought, the bedroom door opened. Shen Yujingji walked in wearing a gray silk house robe, the belt tied loosely around his waist, revealing a broad expanse of his firm chest. He carried a glass of water, followed by 2 maids holding various bags and packages. Awake, he walked to the bedside, handed her the water, his tone so calm it was as if the man who had relentlessly demanded her last night was not him. Su Millie took the water, sipping it carefully, not daring to look at him. That little uncle, about going to the old mansion this afternoon, she ventured. To get the family's blessing, Shen Eugene stated flatly. Su Millie almost choked on her water. Huh? Didn't we already do that with the certificate? That was the legal aspect. Shen Eugene took the empty glass, looking down at her with a deep gaze. In the Shen family, marriage needs the clan registry's recognition. This afternoon, we will serve tea in front of the ancestral tablets. Su Millie's face instantly fell. Can we not go? I'm not ready. Ready? Shi Eugene raised an eyebrow, leaning closer, his finger gently tipping up her chin. Millie, you didn't say you weren't ready last night when you were beneath me. Su Millie's face flushed crimson with humiliation. Furious, she raised her hand to hit him. You jerk. Shen Eugene easily caught her wrist, pulling her into his embrace instead. He lowered his head, his forehead resting against hers. His voice slow and magnetic, carrying a coaxing tone. Be good. Don't fuss. Once we go to the old mansion, you'll be the rightful young mistress of the Shen family. From then on, no one will dare bully you, and no one will be able to take your love away. Su Millie froze. No one will be able to take your love away. The words struck precisely the softest spot in her heart. Yes, if Shen Eugene became her husband, then he would always be hers. Her brother might have a new love, but she would have a home too. This sense of security felt more real than any consolation. She looked into Shen Eugene's deep eyes, which reflected her own small figure. For some reason, she found herself nodding almost as if bewitched. All right, I'll go. The smiling Shen Eugene's eyes finally became unconcealed. He lowered his head to place a soft kiss on her forehead. Good girl. He turned and instructed the maids behind him. Help the young mistress get dressed. Pick something comfortable, nothing tight. Yes, sir. The maids complied, surrounding her with various luxurious garments. Watching Shen Eugene's retreating figure as he walked towards the walk-in closet, Su Millie suddenly felt that perhaps this absurd marriage wasn't as bad as she had imagined. At the very least, this man seemed to genuinely care about her. 2 p.m. Shen family old mansion. Incense smoke curled in the ancestral hall. The atmosphere solemn and austere. Old Master Shen sat in the grand chair, his face dark as thunder. The surrounding elders whispered among themselves, expressions very disgraceful, utterly absurd. Old Master Shen slammed his hand on the armrest, roaring angrily. Eugene, do you have any idea what you're doing? She is King Yan's sister, nominally your niece, and you dare to get a marriage certificate with her? Even intend to serve tea before the ancestors? Do you want to make the Shen family the laughingstock of the entire city? Shen Eugene stood in the center of the hall, his expression indifferent, his back straight as a pine tree. He held Su Millie's hand, their fingers tightly interlaced, his grip so strong it seemed it might crush her bones. Grandfather. Shen Eugene's voice wasn't loud, but it carried an undeniable authority. Millie and I are sincerely in love. Legally, we are already husband and wife. Within the Shen family, I also hope to gain your recognition. Sincerely in love? Old Master Shen laughed in anger. Don't think I don't know. That child Millie was crying at King Yan's engagement party just yesterday. Did you take advantage of her distress? Su Millie shrank back slightly, a pang of guilt hitting her. But Shen Eugene held her hand even tighter. He glanced at her sideways, his gaze tender enough to melt grandfather. Yesterday at King Yan's engagement party, I saw Millie drinking alone in the corner, her eyes full of loneliness. In that moment, I understood I couldn't let her remain so alone any longer. He paused, his tone growing resolute. What if I am her uncle? We share no blood ties. The law permits it. We love each other. That is enough. Dead silence fell over the hall. Everyone was stunned by Shen Yujingji's unfilial yet deeply affectionate words. Su Mili stared at him wide-eyed, incredulous. Was this the same cold, stern uncle from everyday life? He had actually said such things in front of all the elders? Old Master Shun looked at his grandson's determined eyes, then at Su Mili standing beside him. Held made a speech yet with the firm gaze. Finally, he let out a long sigh. Enough, enough. The old man waved a hand, seeming to age several years in an instant, since it's your own choice. I can't control it anymore. Since you have the certificate, live well together. Don't bring disgrace upon the Shen family. Yes, grandfather. A barely perceptible curve touched Shen Yujingji's lips. Thank you for your understanding. The tea-minus serving ceremony proceeded smoothly. Su Mili respectfully presented a teacup to Old Master Shen grandfather. Please have some tea. Old Master Shen accepted the tea, shot a fierce glare at Shen Yujingji, then pulled a thick red envelope from his robe and pressed it into Su Mili's hand. Take it. From now on, keep a good eye on your man. Don't let him run wild outside. Su Mili, blushing, nodded. Thank you, grandfather. After the ceremony, Shen Yujingji led Su Mili out of the ancestral hall. Only after stepping out of the old mansion's main gate and getting into the car did Su Mili let out a long breath of relief. That was terrifying. She patted her chest, her heart still racing. Seeing her like this, Shen Yujingji couldn't help but let out a soft chuckle. What's there to be afraid of? He reached out to tuck a stray lock of hair behind her ear. With me here, no one dares touch you. Su Mili turned her head, looking at his profile, and suddenly asked little uncle, what you said in the hall earlier. Was it true? Which part? The part about seeing me cry, not wanting me to be lonely anymore. Honojin-ji started the car, glancing at her in the rearview mirror, his eyes deepened, inscrutable. What do you think? He countered. Su Mili bit her lip. Her mind a tangled mess. The car drove smoothly on the way home. The setting sun's afterglow spilled onto the car window, stretching their shadows long behind them, as if intertwined, never to be separated again. They arrived home in the evening. Exhausted from the day, Su Mili took a shower and burrowed under the covers. Shen Yujingji finished his shower and emerged. Looking at the small figure curled up in bed, the tenderness in his eyes almost overflowing, he walked over, lifted the blanket, and lay down. Su Mili instinctively snuggled closer into his embrace, finding a comfortable position, and murmured sleepily, Little uncle. Hugh? Shen Yujingji responded, his arm naturally circling her waist. Did you want to marry me for a long time? In the darkness, Shen Yujingji's body stiffened almost imperceptibly. He was silent for a moment, then lowered his head to place a kiss on her forehead. Yes, Millie. I've waited a very long time for this day. Su Mili nodded, half-minus understanding, as sleepiness washed over her. Soon, her breathing evened out, into the steady rhythm of sleep. Shen Yujingji gazed at her sleeping face. The tenderness in his eyes gradually faded, replaced by a deep, obscure shadow. He took out his phone and opened an encrypted folder. Inside was a thick stack of photos. The subject in every photo was Su Mili. There she was on a garden swing reading in the study, smiling charmingly at a banquet. And even the one from yesterday, crying at Shen Qingyan's engagement party. Every photo captured a glimpse of her joy, her anger, her every expression. These were the trophies he had secretly collected over the years. Shen Qingyan got engaged, and you were sad. You thought you chose me on an impulse. In truth, I was waiting for the perfect moment to finally cage you completely. Shen Yujingji turned off the phone, took out the small memory card, and crushed it to dust in his palm. Some secrets were best buried. As long as she was by his side, as long as she loved him, that was enough. In truth, I was waiting for the perfect moment to finally cage you completely. Yujingji turned off the phone, took out the small memory card, and crushed it to dust in his palm. Some secrets were best buried. As long as she was by his side, As long as she loved him, that was enough.